Hello, welcome to Community Corner. My name is David DeWitt Taylor, and my two silly friends are.
Hello, my name is Aaron County Castle.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray.
Today, I am pleased to bring our guest to you today. His name is John Madden. John is a parent and volunteer at the organization supporting those with autism. This challenge is named the Autism Spectrum and acts as an umbrella for several types of disabilities. He has a busy family life, as well as developing, engaging, and planning so that individuals with autism have focus and happy social activities. Our questions will ask details about this work, both issues and successes. We want to welcome you, John.
Thank you very much.
Please tell us about your family and schooling growing up.
Well, I'm originally from the Washington, D.C. area. I was born and raised there, spent most of my youth there. I went to the University of Virginia and studied history, and went to work for the Army in 1975 and moved to Michigan in 1976.
What kind of army?
The U.S. Army. I worked at the Tank Automotive Command for about 33 years.
Wow.
Cool.
Just a couple other things. I met my wife Vicki here in the Detroit area, and we have 2 children, a son and a daughter, and 2 grandchildren, a boy who's about a year old and a granddaughter who is just about 4.
Nice. Yeah. Tell us about autism.
It's a condition that affects the ability to effectively socialize with people and act in a way that meets the norms of social activity. It ranges from people who have difficulty communicating and can't speak and need assistance in communicating, to people who have what used to be called Asperger's syndrome, who are usually able to function the best in society, typically are able to hold jobs. Some can drive. A few that I'm aware of have been able to get married and have successful lives on their own with families. The bulk need support through their life for a variety of things, for transportation, for housing, assistance in finding work, and getting education.
Thank you, gentlemen. John, those challenges faced with autism may face many challenges. What are some of these challenges people might face with autism? Because autism is something I never heard about it.
Well, the first thing is identifying whether or not a child, particularly a child, has autism.
Okay.
That's usually done nowadays when they're fairly young. My son was relatively old when he was diagnosed with autism, but typically they developed the ability to identify whether or not a child has autism at least by the age of 2. So some of the first challenges are diagnosis, and then what you do to assist the child in overcoming the difficulties that they may have with autism. Anything from speech therapy, some have auditory problems, some have sensory problems, and you have to find the right therapies to overcome those particular issues. The next thing is education. while it's a fairly well-known condition now, unlike say 30, 40 years ago, school systems still have difficulty in managing successfully autism programs. There are more than there used to be, but I think it's still a problem. Each case is different, so the approaches that have to be taken are different for the individuals. Some of the next challenges are, while they're in school, is providing them with opportunities for social interaction, social skills, so that they're better able to work with their peers and with other students in school. Once they've graduated from high school, is finding educational opportunities. There are more than there used to be. A lot of autistic people now go to community colleges or to training schools or to universities. Quite a number of the older people at the Autism Socials have college degrees now. Then, after college, is finding housing, finding the right living conditions, work conditions, driver's training if they're capable of driving, and jobs where they're able to have the right support and understanding of their employers so that they can be successful at what they do.
Wow. What are the various parts of autism spectrum? If so, please list them.
The major issues with autism, I think one of the first ones is that people are overwhelmed with the occurrence of autism. About 15 years ago, the occurrence was believed to be about 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 1,500. It's now believed to be about 1 in every 68 people have some form of autism. As I said before, a lot of the issues are diagnosis, treatments, education, and social training and work. It's something that is going to be particularly difficult in the future because people like my son is in his mid-30s now, there are going to be many of them that are going to be middle-aged, and I'm not sure that there are appropriate things set up for them as far as where they're going to be living and how they're going to be taken care of. It's something each individual family has to deal with, but I think society as a whole is going to have to figure out a way to handle what's going to be a fairly sizable population.
Am I change this happening in school classes?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
Am I change this happening in school classes?
I don't know. My son's been out of school for a long time, but I tend to think that special education overall it's always been a continuing issue as far as the number of people in special education and the types of interventions, the types of appropriate actions that need to be taken for each individual student. It's probably going to be an ongoing thing, probably forever. I have a younger sister who just turned 60 years old who has cerebral palsy. And when she was in school back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, those were issues that she had to overcome, going from what I call a categorical school, which dealt primarily with people with physical disabilities, to being mainstreamed in a regular high school, and the sorts of things that had to be done for her to accommodate her difficulties. So those are probably going to continue for some time.
Why?
Thank you, Aaron. John, just listening what you just said, I can relate to that because when I was in high school, I was bullied in high school. People used to bully me a lot in high school, John. People used to push me in the lockers, do things that were so cruel, so rude. Why couldn't people do that? I can accept doing that now instead of doing it back and things are much simpler. But my question to you, John, is very simple. What led you to organize the social outing? I'm curious.
Well, I was looking for social outlets for my son. They were limited, if almost non-existent. And my church had a teen activity, which was primarily playing video games and listening to music on Friday nights twice a month. And my son enjoyed doing that. The person who was running that decided he couldn't do it anymore, so I took it over. And I did that for a couple of years. Then I met Leisha Brunetti at a support group, and she and I were talking about what things could be done for social activities for autistic people, particularly higher functioning and Asperger's syndrome people. And I told her about my activity that I did. And we realized that a lot of teens and young adults like playing video games. Everyone seems to like doing that. And we thought maybe we could put together a social activity centered around video games and board games and some other things and try that out. So we got the church to let us use the same building that I was using for this teen activity, and we held our first social back in November of 2001. And again, it was, in my case, it was primarily so my son would have something to do, but we found that other autistic teens and young adults also needed some activities, and so we started doing that, and from that the Friendship Club grew.
Please tell us about the focus of this organization.
The focus is for teens and adults, primarily with autism, but really any disability, to have fun with their peers in a welcoming and safe environment. It's also an opportunity for parents and caregivers to relax and network for a few hours. The event, as we hold it, is in a large building with a couple of rooms where we have video games, and in a very large room where people can gather and talk and eat and spend time together. There are some opportunities because most of the people are peers, developing their social skills, meeting with people, but primarily so that they can have fun and do the things that they like to do it themselves, and with other people, again, in an environment of peers where people aren't going to bully them and are going to support them and have fun.
Cool. Besides, that's what we're there for, right? To have fun.
That's right.
Really fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I was there with you once, remember? I came to that one of the autism things. I found it to be quite boring. But I didn't mind it.
You liked it though eventually, right?
I did, Aaron.
Oh, I loved it since day one.
Good.
Great.
Poor Dave has to go work at them. So.
Yeah. You have to go DJ them,
That
don't
leads
you?
me to a question,
Okay.
a personal one. How do you hear of Dad's or Do Time?
Say that again?
How do you hear of Dad's or Do Time?
How did you hear? That's
I'm sorry.
How did you hear about him?
Oh, Leisha heard from, I think, the Autism Society. So that's how we heard about you. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What are all the parts of the social events?
The parts of the social event?
Yeah.
Well, the events are always held on a Saturday. We try to do it 8 times a year. The event, as we put it together, we try to make it as consistent as possible. People on the autism spectrum really like consistency. They like things to look the same and be conducted the same. They're very comfortable with that. So we have it on Saturdays. We do it from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m., so it's an evening event. We set up about 14 video game systems in 2 rooms, each with a separate television set for the game. We have air hockey and ping pong for anybody who wants to play those. We have board games. We have snacks. And for the first 2 hours, we usually have a movie. The large open area has a video screen and a projector, so we put a movie on for the first hour and a half, 2 hours. We order pizza, which is usually delivered about 8:30, and we serve pizza and salad and pop, usually the same sorts of things, so people are familiar with things and they're things that they like to have. Mm-hmm. After the pizza is over, we then have a talent program where people can do anything that they like. They can tell jokes, play a keyboard that we have, play any other musical instrument, sing. Some have given short lectures on subjects that they find interesting. We've had videos that people have put together that are shown on CDs. Quite a number of talents that you'd be surprised at. That goes on for about an hour. In the back rooms, the video games are still continuing. We have a gymnasium where anybody during the entire event can shoot baskets, play basketball. We have a floor hockey set up so that they can play floor hockey games in the gymnasium. And then, about 10 o'clock, when the talent show is all over, we have the dancing with Dave and his music, and we set up a portion of the large room, and we set that aside, and for about anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, people who want to dance can do that. So there's a lot of things to do, but it's always done in the same progression so that people know what to expect and when things are going to happen. But then they can do what they want, and they know what's coming, and they can do it at the pace that they want to. And when they're tired and if they'd like to go, their parents or caretaker can take them home. But a lot of people stay towards the end and do all the things that they like, particularly the dancing.
That's me.
That's you?
I stay until the end.
There you go.
Really?
I'll be out complaining.
Oh, really? Really? You complain?
No,
He does.
no.
Oh, you do really?
I catch on.
So does your organization do fundraising? And if so, how?
Well, we really don't do any fundraising.
You don't? Why?
Well, we ask for our donations when people come to the door. It's now $5 a person, but it's always been, we used to have it for $15 a family or $5 a person, but expenses have gone up just a little bit. Pizzas just went up this year. We get pizza from Papa John's and they give us a very good discount, but they did have to raise it $1 a pizza this year. But we only ask for about $5 a person, and we operate off of that. We spend quite a bit of money on the pizza and on pop and things for the event. There have been a couple of special events that we've held over the years. We had back, maybe 2 or 3 years into the event, a visit from a gentleman by the name of Jerry Newport. People in the autistic community know who he is. He's an older gentleman, and he's been a very large success story in the autism community. And the Oakland County chapter of the Autism Society paid for the pizzas that night because we expected more people and it would be a lot more expensive than we normally do. The society also helped pay for cabinets that the church let us install in the activity center, where we can store a lot of those TVs and games and things that we used to bring from my house every event. And they also paid for part of the cost to buy a new projector for the video in the activity center.
Cool.
And we did hold what we called a prom. It was a large dinner dance about maybe 3 years ago that we had, and the Autism Society helped pay for the cost of that as well. So we don't do fundraising, but the Autism Society has been very generous in helping us, and the parish, St. Anastasia's, has been very generous in letting us have that activity center under their own auspices. They allow me to use it as a parish member and as a part of their activities, and it's really saved us a lot of money to be able to hold it there, and it's frankly the most ideal location to run this event.
Good.
Oh, what was the purpose of forming the Friendship Club and why?
Again, the purpose was to provide a social outlet where people on the autism spectrum, teens and adults, could have somewhere to go to do things that they enjoy doing in a safe, welcoming environment. And we have found over the years the activities that people like. We've gotten more video games and systems to accommodate interests that some of the participants have. The church built the gymnasium, and so we were able to offer sports activities, which quite a number of the participants engage in. They really seemed like playing hockey games. But the objective was fun things to do that the participants enjoy.
And that's awesome, right? How do the day and location get set up, and who sets up and cleans up?
Well, we're lucky that we've had a number of volunteers in the last few years come forward and help us. We usually set up about 5 o'clock, 2 hours before we start. The parish sets up the main room with tables, but the two video game rooms, we have to set those up. And the brother of one of the participants comes and helps, as well as a couple parents of another participant, actually, and their daughter now come and help set up the food and things. So we set up the 2 back rooms. My son sets up the television set and video game systems with help of friends of his, because that does take some time, and it's kind of complicated to set up all those video game systems and television sets. So they do that. And then during the event, a lot of the other parents help do things like man the table where people come in and sign in and provide their donations, and they help identify who to go talk to find out where things are. Leisha usually takes new people around and shows them the event where we keep the video games so that they can check those out, show them the gymnasium and other activities that they can do. Towards the end of the evening, we've had other parents volunteer to help clean up. It is quite a bit. There's usually about 100 people who come to the event, so there's quite a bit to clean up. And then at 11 o'clock, when it's all over, we have people come and help, particularly Leisha's family, Perry and her son Will, and my son, but a lot of other people have volunteered to help to put away all those video game systems and television sets, put away everything in the storage cabinets, and put stuff back into those rooms. It's quite labor intensive. It takes about an hour once everyone is gone and the event's over to put everything back the way that it was and to load up our cars so we can take things home that, that we need to do. But we've got a lot of volunteers who've been very helpful over the last couple of years, and we have people in the community, the outside community, who've looked at our webpage and the Autism Society webpage and have come in and volunteered to help as well.
Cool.
So what are the standard goals for this social club?
Fun.
Fun?
It's really fun. Enjoyment, an opportunity to just lay back for 4 hours and do whatever you like to do. that's really the goal. And I think, I know Aaron likes it.
Oh, really? Oh, really, Aaron? Really?
Yeah,
A lot of
I love
Aaron friends like it, so
Exactly.
Fun.
it seems to go pretty well.
Exactly. I love it a lot.
Good.
What does the Autism Society have a sibling support group, including other training options?
We don't really do that. What happens is a lot of the times the families will come and they'll bring the younger siblings of the teenagers or adults that they bring, and the siblings are all welcome to do the same activities, and they usually get engaged with the autistic participants and love playing video games and the air hockey and ping pong, and enjoying the snacks and watching the movie, so they can do it as a family.
It has been just wonderful meeting you today, John, and learning about your life and your, I got finishing the whole thing, devotion with autism. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
And you finally got it?
Yeah, those autism who choose to work into those having challenges, various challenges. You must have a deep appreciation that people all deserve respect and opportunities. We value your kind heart and your deep desire to fulfill this, involve this. Thank you, our guest today. I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray.
I'm DeWitt, and you are definitely watching ONTV, CMN, and YouTube.com.
On TV and CMN TV.
Thanks all.
Thanks for being our guest today. My name is M. Castle, and you're watching on TV, CMN, and YouTube.
On TV and CMN TV. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Ciao.
guys.
I'll leave it there, Chief.